This is a KGW News Special Edition.
It provided the appearance that I was helping citizens enter the Capitol, so that would make me appear favorable to certain citizen groups.
Well, an ousted state representative tells a Marion County judge why he let violent protesters into Oregon's Capitol back in December. Security cameras captured the whole thing, and Mike Neerman was expelled from office over this. Today, he admitted what he did was criminal. Mike Neerman pleaded guilty to official misconduct. Maggie Vespa was in the courtroom this morning, and Maggie, Neerman had a lot more to say.
Ashley, he did. Neerman said that he had no intention of hurting anyone inside the Capitol that day, and he added he didn't agree with what protesters did when they got inside. Now, the group that Neerman let in, it's worth noting, was quickly pushed out by state troopers. But elsewhere that day, people broke windows, they kicked in doors, they sprayed gas into the air, and lawmakers later said they were terrified. They were in session that day, but the building was closed to the public per COVID protocols. So fast forward to June, this video of Neerman surfaces. It was before the protest, and in it, he says he's planning to let protesters in that day. He even calls the whole thing Operation Hall Pass, and he gives out his cell phone number. The fallout has been swift. Lawmakers voted Neerman out of office, and criminal charges soon followed. And today, Mike Neerman pleaded guilty to official misconduct. The judge in his hearing did not mince words.
Democracy is built on the principle that when there's disagreement, that starts the public discussion and debate. It doesn't end it. And that's the province of tyranny and anarchy. And we're not that. We're so much better than that.
Mr. Neerman, can we ask you questions? I'm Maggie Vespa with KGW. That cell phone video there, Mike Neerman exiting the Marion County Courthouse through a side door. I caught up with him and tried to ask some questions, but he refused to answer those questions and he drove off. His sentence now 18 months probation, during which time he's banned from the Capitol grounds. Also $200 in court fines and $2,700 in restitution for damage to Oregon's Capitol building. Back to you.
Maggie, thank you. Well, COVID-19 cases are starting to increase again quickly. Yesterday, 1,032 new cases were reported in Oregon and 5 deaths. The majority of those cases involve the Delta variant. Multnomah County health officials are now recommending everyone wear masks inside again, regardless of your vaccination status. Today, the Centers for Disease Control also encouraged mask wearing indoors, citing that people who are unvaccinated are getting sick. Now, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs became the first big federal employer to require its healthcare workers to get the COVID vaccine. The new order, issued Monday, covers roughly 115,000 workers across the country and about 4,500 in the greater Portland area. But don't expect a similar move at Oregon healthcare systems, at least for the moment. Pat Doris reports.
At the Portland VA, healthcare workers who are not vaccinated now have 8 weeks to get the shot or face consequences. A spokesman said about 900 of those workers are not vaccinated, 3,500 are. The order comes as the Delta variant continues to spread around the country and in Southwest Washington and Oregon. It covers doctors, dentists, podiatrists, optometrists, nurses, physician assistants, and others. If making people on the front line of the pandemic get the COVID shot seems like common sense to you, get ready for a real surprise. So why can't the health systems just follow the VA and order their frontline workers to get vaccinated?
Oregon has a law that prevents hospitals from mandating vaccines on their workforce.
That's Becky Hultberg, the CEO of the Oregon Association of Hospitals and Health Systems. She knows what she's talking about. Oregon State Law, ORS 433.416, deals with healthcare workers and immunizations, and it states a worker shall not be required as a condition of work to be immunized unless such immunization is otherwise required by federal or state law or rule or regulation. It might make Oregon the only state in the nation to prohibit firing a healthcare worker because they won't get the COVID shot. How could that change?
The first would be for the Oregon Health Authority to change through rule this regulation. So they could make a change that would allow for healthcare employers to mandate vaccines.
An administrative rule passed by the Oregon Health Authority probably would force all healthcare workers to get the shot. But last week, the OHA's director said he does not have the authority to make a rule giving systems the option of telling their workers whether to get a shot or not, that it would have to mandate that everyone get it, and he does not want to do that.
And having a big impact on the healthcare workforce, which is very fragile right now. People have been working really hard across the healthcare systems for, going on a year and a half now. And we've got challenges being able to keep all kinds of facilities functioning the way they need to based on staffing. And so at this time, we would be reluctant to mandate all healthcare providers or entire categories of healthcare providers require vaccines.
That may soon change. Oregon Governor Kate Brown's office said they are studying the actions taken by the VA as well as California and New York to see what further actions can be taken in our state to get healthcare workers vaccinated. Pat Doris, KGW News.
Let's talk wildfires now. The Bootleg Fire in southern Oregon has burned more than 410,000 acres. There is some good news here. The fire is now 53% contained. It's destroyed, though, 161 homes so far, and many evacuation centers are still open for those forced out of their homes. More than 2,000 firefighters are working this fire, and crews who have been out there for 2 weeks now are starting to rotate out. We have new information in the deadly shooting of a Clark County Sheriff's detective. Prosecutors believe the gun used to kill Sergeant Jeremy Brown was one of nearly 30 guns stolen last month in Hazel Dell. Prosecutors say the leader of the gun theft was Misty Rhea. Rhea is one of 3 suspects connected to the shooting of Detective Sergeant Brown last Friday. Rhea was in court in Clark County on Monday facing burglary and other charges in connection with a series of thefts from a Hazel Dell storage unit. According to court documents, the theft of 27 guns and as many as 30,000 rounds of ammo from that storage unit is why Sergeant Brown was tracking Misty Rhea along with her husband and the man charged in the shooting death of Detective Brown. The suspect there is Guillermo Rhea Leon.
One of the guns that was stolen in this case by the defendant and her co-defendants, the state has compelling evidence at this time that one of those guns was the gun that was used to kill Detective Jeremy Brown.
The judge set Misty Rhea's bail at $1 million. The prosecuting attorney says more charges are coming for Rhea in connection to the detective's death. No word yet on when Guillermo Rhea Leon will first appear before a judge in Clark County on an attempted murder charge. Police say a woman in Portland was attacked for being transgender, and this isn't the first time. She's now taking a stand. Galen Etlin looks into the big picture of violence against trans people.
Late Thursday night, Jenny Rosales got off the Max at 122nd and Burnside, headed home from work.
Out of nowhere, this guy, he just randomly started asking me personal questions.
Jenny is transgender and did not know this man.
He asked me if I had a girl's part, and I didn't want to answer the question to him because obviously it wasn't his business. He was getting upset because I guess he was like really wanting to know who or what I was.
Who or what you are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just sounds like that must be such a difficult position to be in because you're a person at the end of the day.
I'm just like everyone else.
Portland police received a call from Jenny while she was running from the man, identified as Alejandro Ovalle. Officers say he attacked Jenny with a metal pole, leaving her with these bruises. He's now charged with assault and bias crime. Jenny says she has been randomly attacked 4 times before.
It's scary, and I don't want to end up dead one day, you know?
And a lot of that is dismantling a culture of violence against trans people.
Seth Johnstone works as the Transgender Justice Lead for Basic Rights Oregon, which advocates for LGBTQ people.
The society is not really set up for trans people to live successful lives.
He says nearly half of trans people report being attacked verbally or physically, and the Human Rights Campaign says more than 200 transgender and gender nonconforming people have been killed in the U.S. since 2013.
So many of these things are unreported and should be seen.
What would you say is the greatest barrier to acceptance?
Increasing visibility, first of all, and making sure that folks have the real narratives of who trans people are.
More than 250 anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced to state legislatures in 2021, many targeting trans people specifically. National data show because of discrimination, 40% of trans adults reported suicide attempts at some point. 27% report mistreatment at work, a third were refused medical treatment for being trans, and 84% of trans youth don't feel safe in class. But Oregon is ahead of the curve with several new laws protecting trans people.
We have the right to live our life how we want to.
Cases like Jenny's show there's still work to do.
You were literally minding your own business.
I was.
Understanding and creating compassion for lived experiences around you that might be a little bit different.
Both Seth and Jenny share this message.
Being bullied and physically injured because of what people dislike is not okay. If we keep letting this happen, we can end up dead.
Hoping others stand up to hate. Galen Etlin, KGW News.